Hey, everybody. Had an absolute blast with today's guest, Frank. We chatted for almost 2 hours. So this time we'll be breaking it into 2 episodes. Please enjoy, and thanks so much.
Edit it anyway, right? So
yeah. Hello, everyone. Welcome to SuppTalk Radio. Today, we're going back to the roots of supplement talk and anything of the like. I am joined by, I'm going to say, almost an OG, if you don't know this man. He's been in the business for a little under 20 years. Let me go ahead and run down his resume here. We have Muscle Foods. We have Lone Star. We have Species. We have Raw Nutrition. And more recently, the president of sales at Titan Nutrition. If you haven't heard of Titan, I actually did a podcast many years ago with the owner, Brian. Great company. Sometimes maybe under the radar, but full arsenal of products. But anyway, let me stop talking here. Allow me to introduce Frank Colachino. Frank, how are you doing, buddy?
We're doing great, Sean. Appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, no, I know we've been talking for a while now, and I'm glad we're finally making it happen here.
Yeah, for like a year. We were finally able to figure it out. You're a busy guy.
Well, it works both ways.
Yeah.
So, Frank, I'm going to start flat out here. What got you into supplements? Sports, or like most people, kind of, were you a skinny guy, big guy, what?
Big guy. I was, as a freshman in high school, I think I was 225, 230. So I was a bigger kid. My father was a power lifter. My uncle was a power lifter.
Okay.
They were big supplement guys, but there was some stuff around when I was younger, in the 80s.
Yep.
I didn't see a lot of it at the house because my father gets kidney stones, so he could never use protein and stuff like that.
Okay. All right.
So they were kind of like, and they were natural guys and just ate and trained basically. So, but I got more into it. He brought me to the gym when I was like 8, 9, 10 years old. So I was always around bigger guys. I was impressed by these big guys that were at the gym. And now looking back, I was like, wowed. And seeing that some of these guys were bodybuilders, I can look back and say, yeah, they were definitely eating more than just food and training. But, I didn't know what I was looking at the time. Now I can say, oh, no wonder his arms were 21. But
it was Weeder principles. It was all the Weeder principles.
It was. Back then it was all the Weeder stuff. And all those. and Menser. That was the days of Menser too. The hit training was the reason that they were all blown out. So I was kind of around that. And so I knew as I got into high school about my father actually worked as a prison guard for 30 years. And they were selling back then, when I was in high school, they were still allowed to sell creatine bars because this was before they took the weights out of prisons and all that. So I remember him getting me these chocolate bars, like primitive creatine bars. Okay. And so I took that and I took protein and I took some creatine back in the day. We used to drink it with grape juice. You probably remember that.
Yes, man. EAS days.
Yes. So we did that. And that's kind of how I got into like knowing what supplement. And then I dug into it more. Now, I was too dumb at the time and young. So I went to GNC and stuff like that at the time and overpaid, for Muscle Tech and Cell Tech like everybody did.
But you probably had your gold card. You probably used your gold card back in the day.
I had a gold card. I did. But not to throw shade at GNC, but I mean, as you get older, you learn. Now that I work with independent retail, I didn't know what that was at the time. And we didn't really have a ton of stores like that. We had a couple in Scranton, Pennsylvania area where I grew up. So that's kind of how I got into the supplements. And then the career was a complete accident. Like I went to school for poli-sci, my bachelor's, master's. I played football in high school. I played football at Lehigh University and got out with my degrees. Worked in a PR firm for a little bit and the recession hit. So it pretty much, they laid off half of our firm because everybody took they took away third parties. So they were going to do PR and stuff in-house. Okay. So firms like mine took a big hit and I was low man on the totem pole. So they kept me as long as they could and let me go. And I ended up going back to school again for a second master's in teaching in secondary ed. So I'm an overeducated idiot. And and then I came back to Pennsylvania and I was basically unemployed. And I had all these degrees and I was the first in my family to go to college. So it was, go to college and you'll write your ticket. And then I got kicked in the ass, right? Coming out of school in 2 years.
Where's this ticket you guys keep talking about? I'm the same way.
Never did find the ticket, but I'm lucky. Luckily, the ticket found me in the form of I was in the gym one day. I was staying up at night till 2 or 3 in the morning every night, sending out resumes and applying, and it's just anything, just trying to find something decent.
Yeah.
And I was in the gym in Clark Summit, Pennsylvania, Brown's gym. Jim Brown's the owner, and his wife Janelle, great people. He's a really well-known powerlifter, in the natural side.
Okay.
And a guy by the name of Bob O'Leary came in, who used to own Boss, Bob O'Leary Sports Science, which was a distributor.
Yeah.
He had the Eclipse brand back in the day, Eclipse shakes in the tin cans.
I remember those. Yep.
Full of sugar, but they tasted amazing. So Bob came in. I guess they were good for post-workout because you would spike your insulin. Like there was a lot of protein, but there was a shit ton of sugar too, like 40 grams, 50 grams in that little can. So I knew him from that. And Bob came in the gym and he asked the gym owner, he said, I'm looking to add someone to my staff at Boss, which at that time was turning over to USA Sports. They're changing the name. And gym owner was like, talk to that guy over there. That might be a good one. And he introduced himself. And I was like, yeah, of course I know who you are. I know your drinks, the Eclipse shakes.
Yeah.
The HMB they had and a couple things back then, right? And so he ended up, I went to lunch with him and his wife and Joe Meese, who's now I think the president of Muscle Foods.
Okay.
And that's how I got in the industry. It was shit luck. I was in the right place at the right time.
I gotcha.
It found me. I didn't find it. I didn't know. I always tell people, I didn't know almost 20 years later, you can do what we did for a living. I didn't know this was a thing. I didn't know this existed,
Yeah, and I was the same way. I went to Florida State, have a degree in nutrition and exercise science, and I wanted to be a strength conditioning coach, for a professional team. But then I realized for me, it was almost going to getting a PhD, and I said, yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. And ideally, I wanted to work for a supplement company myself, but never worked out that way. So I'm kind of affiliated behind the scenes.
Well, you must be happy. You had a good weekend last weekend when FSU put that beating on Alabama.
Yeah, but they're so up and down. I mean, I don't follow it as intently as I should, but
they started off good. I think they sucked last year, but they started off this year good anyway. So,
yep.
Yeah,
so
my stepdaughter actually got her master's degree there.
Oh, did you have to physically go?
In sports psych in Tallahassee.
Oh, wow. Is she doing something now with it?
Then she went to Tennessee, University of Tennessee, to get her PhD.
Okay.
So she's finishing up their PhD now.
Okay.
And now she's going to be in the real world.
So what does she want to do with it? Or what's her real goal?
She wanted to teach, but I don't know if there's any opportunities there for her. She was talking about getting linked up with a professional team to do sports psychology.
Okay. Yep.
It's a pretty good field. Not a lot of women in it. So she's still figuring it out because it depends on what opportunities are there as she graduates, Yeah. And she's been teaching at Tennessee.
Oh, good. It's tough for anybody getting out of college right now. No matter what you do, it's a crazy freaking market.
Terrible. It's brutal. Everybody wants experience, and then it's like, how do you get it when you're brand new?
Yeah, exactly.
And they don't want to pay.
But that's it. They neglect the fact you've got 100-something thousand college tuition degree. I should say, tuition check looming over you, and they want to offer you $40,000 coming out of college.
Yep. So, yeah, and she had some loans and stuff. So I mean, she's made her way through and done well. But yeah, she was a TCU undergrad and then FSU and then Tennessee. So she's also highly educated. Hopefully she can put it to good use.
So gotcha. She's gonna get all sorts of looks though. It's like, where does her allegiance go with Tennessee? Does she look at Florida State? It's like any of the sports fans are gonna give her the cross eyes. Yeah,
I can tell you she didn't love Tallahassee, so that's probably the bottom of the totem pole.
Okay.
I think she's most. I think the Horned Frogs still have her heart.
Okay, fair enough.
I think she's TCU first.
Okay, all right. Well, good luck to her. When is she graduating?
Should be coming up here shortly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
all right.
Me and her mother aren't together, and we were together for 12 years. So I helped raise her, but now she's 20. Oh God, 28.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and she lives in Tennessee, and I'm here in Texas, in Houston. So I just still talk to her on the phone here, there, or text. Because she's doing the thing. But yeah, so that's the short of how I got in the industry by by luck.
Yep.
And then that, I had a knack for it because I enjoyed it and I'm curious and I liked supplements and I looked the part somewhat. So I just took it and ran with it after that. They gave me an opportunity at USA Sports, and I just did the best I could, and it ended up panning out pretty well.
Yeah. So obviously throughout the years, you've seen a lot of changes. I mean, I used to have a store myself in a gym back in 14. I used to do a lot of work with Muscle Foods. I always thought it was so funny. I worked with them and Europa, and I always liked the customer service of Muscle Foods, but I always felt Europa had more of a selection.
At the time, it was we were smaller. Lone Star was in the middle. So I worked for everybody but Europa pretty much in my career, at least the big three: Muscle Foods, Europa, Lone Star. We were the little engine that could back then, and now they're the last man standing. Oddly enough, as distribution pretty much kind of imploded. And Europa now is mainly a fulfillment. They're a 3PL company now, but back then Europa was the purple elephant.
Yep.
They had every brand. Everybody went to them first. We had to win through either pricing or customer service at Muscle Foods, and the girls who were there were really, back then you had to hustle a lot.
Yeah.
You had to be competitive against the bigger people. We had to be very much on our game. And it's probably why I was able to get acclimated and start doing well right away, because I was a go-getter. And at the time, everybody in there, if they weren't, the couple of people who weren't got fired. They didn't last. You had to move.
I always felt Muscle Foods was good for the smaller up-and-coming brands, and then I went to Europa for the big brands.
Yeah, because the big brands would give them better discounts because they bought bigger. So they could give you a little bit better discount than us sometimes. And the smaller brands would come to us because we could focus. Well, because some of the big brands were Europa exclusives too.
Yep. Okay.
They were prioritized by Europa, whereas we would get some of the small ones because, especially if they put a spiff on, they put a commission on their items and stuff, we could give them more individual attention. Those small brands and emerging brands would get lost in a very large Europa catalog. So that was their concerns, and that's where we took advantage of that.
Yeah, and it always felt, going down memory lane here, Europa, I always got these nice booklets and emails. And then from Muscle Foods, I would just basically get like a line item email, like everything, just like text. This, okay, Formutech 6+1, Diametize 6+1. And it was chintzy, but I said at the end of the day, I don't care what it looks like as long as I'm getting good deals. Yeah,
and that's pretty much what it was. They were polished, and they were the ones everyone was trying to catch back then. They had a lot of tenured sales reps from that Carolinas area, and they were very, very good and made a lot of money for a long time. Where was your store?
So it was actually in a gym here up in Charlton, Massachusetts.
Okay, up in Massachusetts, Mass. All right.
Yeah, it was a no-brainer. This gym didn't have a store. They had a smoothie bar at the front, but they eventually closed, so I closed shop with it.
Okay. Well, that's happened to a lot of people, over the years. So so that was the heyday of distribution. And the reason I got out was because I could see the changes coming. In that. You used to have to order so much to go direct with companies, with Gaspari, with BSN. And I used to sell as a distributor. I would sell them their Gaspari, BSN, Muscle Tech, these bigger brands. And then I noticed that they weren't buying from us anymore. And I'm like, so my numbers, are off. And I'm like, I'd ask them, I said, are you getting your BSN from Europa, or what's going on? Are the pricing is better? And they're like, no, we're going direct now.
Yeah.
And I saw the writing on the wall, like, oh, more and more brands are cutting out the distributor and taking people direct for lower minimums.
Yeah.
This is bad for us. I should probably get out while the getting's good. And that's when I moved over to the brand side and worked on my first job was with Species with Dave Palumbo for brands. That's why I switched.
Was that a big mind change? Like going from obviously the distributor and now you're working for a true brand?
It was easy because I only had to sell one brand. Distribution, if you're good, you have to know 100 brands that are in your catalog.
Yeah.
So with Species, I had to know what I was selling and who I was selling against. So it was just more doing your homework about, and I knew from distribution, so because I sold some of the competitive brands, so I knew how much these other brands were selling their stuff for. So I had more insight into, and Species was an expensive brand. It's always been a premium brand. So my mindset was, if you can sell 50 brands, you should be able to sell one brand very, very well if you know your shit.
Yeah.
And know your competition.
So did you reach out to Dave directly, or how did you get that job?
At the time, they used to go to a lot of shows.
Okay.
So I would see them at shows. He was there. Joel was the old COO. Rob Brink was the sales guy. And I used to go to I'd be working Muscle Foods, selling muscle sandwiches at shows, and they would be there popped up.
Okay.
And I would go over, and I used to love their Isolyze RTDs, which was just a powder in the jug. You'd add water to and shake it. And I liked their look, and I liked their protein. You know, that old peanut butter, vanilla peanut butter protein Isolyze was great.
Yep.
And I knew Dave as a bodybuilder, so they got to know. Whenever I would see them at shows, I would go up and talk to them because I loved the brand. You know, and they always had these freaky girls around the booth that were bigger than me and shit too. Remember? So you know, you're looking at this sideshow, the circus, and they knew me because I sold a lot of their stuff through distribution. So one of the brands I liked, because I've always been a guy who sells what he likes. If I don't believe in the brand, I cannot sell it.
Yeah.
So I used to sell a lot of their stuff, and they were one of the worst margin brands. Like there was no margin for us. We would buy the stuff at like 25% off wholesale and sell it for 15%. Like there was no margin.
Jeez. Okay.
But I moved it because I really believed in it and I liked it.
Yeah.
And they knew that. And eventually we just got together, and Rob moved on, the sales guy moved on, and they brought me on as a national sales manager when I was, I don't know, at that time I was like 28.
Yep. Okay.
I was fairly young, and I was in a national position, and that's kind of, I've been at the level that ever since. You know, I ran distribution there, helped with international, and that's kind of where I cut my teeth on the brand side. So
I know Species very well. I feel not to talk ill. I feel that's a brand that's kind of hasn't done too much changes over the years, but still kind of holds their own in today's marketplace. Yeah,
the thing with Dave is he ended up kind of just taking it more online. He does a lot with Amazon now and some retail.
Yeah,
but he had a big staff when I was there, so he liquidated a lot of that. Brought the business down to Florida. He has a fulfillment and a warehouse. He never really changed much at all. This is the same formulas forever.
Yeah, I know.
But they kind of stand up. They're good. Like his omegas are good. His joint product is very good. His fiber, he put fiber on the map with Fiberlize. Everyone has a fiber now. I take fiber religiously.
Yep.
And I've made fiber in a couple of the companies I went to, and they didn't even have it, largely because of Dave's Fiberlize, which is still the category leader after 15, 20 years. So he was ahead of his time, so that now it's kind of caught up.
Yep.
But he's still him, and the products are still good. So would I update them? Yes, but it's kind of worked for him, and he changed his business model, and he seems to be doing well. I mean, it's still a good quality brand.
Yeah, no, of course. I almost feel like his reptile business is his new baby, and Species is just kind of side money or mad money, maybe.
Yeah, the snake stuff. I mean, I don't know. He can have all. I visited him one year, and I don't know about all the snake shit, but not my cup of tea.
I saw his documentary online, and I'm like, yeah. And then one of them got away one day, and I'm like, okay, yeah, no thanks.
Yeah, and he's still a media guy. He's still RX Muscle.
Yep.
And when I was there, that was the big thing. He was going head to head with Muscular Development with Steve Bleckman. They were at war with each other basically, and Dave kind of ended up outlasting him. So in the end, Dave made out okay. You know, I like Dave. He's kind of eccentric guy, but I enjoyed working for him. He always treated me fairly. Probably one of the fairer people I worked for him.
Yeah, I've never had the pleasure. He seems very polarizing, so I can't say good or bad. I know he's a very polarizing guy.
A lot of people hate on him, but he's eccentric. He's kind of out there in his own ways.
Yeah.
But he is intelligent, and he was always decent with me. He listened to me. Yeah. You know, even as a young guy, he gave me an opportunity. So I know other guys had run-ins with him and whatnot. On the media side, they certainly have, because he does some sensational shit here every now and again to get views.
Who doesn't?
Yeah, and he's a New Yorker, so there's that. But you know, he's got that Northeast thing. But he was good to me, and I tried to be good to him. And I spent a good 5 years there. And
yeah.
I appreciate the time that I was there. I still like the brand. I won't say anything negative.
No, of course.
He did good. He did well for himself, and he's still doing RX Muscle. So he's done some things right. He's not a stupid guy at all. Believe me.
Yeah, no, of course. You know, and again, like I said, he was probably one of the first online media people back in the day when it became online 08, 09, and the podcasts and everything else. I mean, he was a little bit of ahead of his time, as you said, with the supplements and everything else.
He really was. And sometimes it works against you if you're too soon, right?
Yeah.
We'll talk about that, I'm sure, innovation and stuff. Sometimes innovation it's a great thing, but sometimes people aren't ready for it, or it's a little early. And I think he was ahead of the game on a couple things, but over time, it ended up working out. So that was my first experience on the brand side and how I got there.
Yep. And then you forward to Raw Nutrition. Are you kind of surprised at how big they've gotten? Or do you kind of feel it coming?
No, I mean, Dom is a very smart businessman. He will do whatever it takes. I respect him. You know, he's tough. He's tough in business. You know, he learned a lot of business from his mother, who's a great business person. If people are in his way and he's got to cut a throat to get up, he's going to grow. You know what I mean? He was good to me. They had good people there. His business mind is excellent. He picks up stuff quick. He had the capital, most importantly. He had the money to make moves. Very much, it's a pay-to-play industry trying to emerge as a supplement brand now. And he had the balls and the foresight to bring on CBum as a partner and give up a part of the company.
Yep.
Because CBum was with, I think, Jack Factory when I was there.
Yes, you're right. Yes.
And CBum was making a lot of money. But the only thing CBum hadn't done was own anything yet.
Yeah.
So Dom threw out a portion and to bring him on as a partner. And I mean, that's what changed the game. I mean, that's a generational guy. And Dom had the foresight and the smarts to give that guy a part of the company to bring him over. And that launched the company into the stratosphere. That happened I was there for almost a year before they brought him on. And we were already growing at a very good trajectory. I was hustling my ass off. You know, Dom will give me a lot of credit when he talks to people about what I did there, building their wholesale program to get it started, because they weren't doing much when I came on. They didn't really have even a wholesale program. So I built all that out for them.
Yep.
And once they brought CBum on, I mean, the people were running to you. At that point, you didn't have to be that great of a salesman anymore.
Oh, it was a no-brainer. Give him a percentage. And I'm sorry, seeing that to 100-fold. The percentage you gave up. Oh,
God. Yeah. I mean, back then that company might have been worth, 10 million. Now it's, 500 or 600 million. I mean, they just merged or got acquired by Quality Group, and the Bum Energy is through the roof. If anybody was going to win, I would have put money with Dom. Me and him didn't always agree on certain things, on how to work with wholesale and direct to consumer, but he's really the one that kind of ushered in we can do strong retail and we can still kill D2C. Yeah, and we're not going to apologize for it. And I'm going to do things the way I think they need to be done. Yep. On my terms, my rules. People are going to pay what we tell them to pay because we're spending the money on the marketing and the athletes and all that. And he doubled down on himself and said, fuck it. And you know what?
Yeah.
He won. He did what everybody that gets in this business wishes they could do what he did.
Yep.
In 3 to 5 years, he blew the thing up, and it was on a rocket ship. So I said on another podcast, anybody who hates him wants to be him. You know what I mean? Yep. You don't have to love every single thing, but he's a winner. The guy wins, and that's what we're all here to do. Especially our industry, which is full of cutthroats and snakes. And I don't think he's not a snake. I would never say that about him. Yeah. But there's a lot of fuckery in this business that goes on. It's dirty a lot of times. And so, choir boys don't win in this usually. You've got to have a certain edge. Yep. And you've got to be able to have the balls to do it. And he did it. And I'm not surprised the company got to that point. Everything he's done, Sean, is turned out successful. His clinics, HRT clinics, roofing business, the Bum Energy drinks, the supplement lines, anything he touches ends up being successful. So sometimes guys just have it, and he has it. Yeah. Where most of our industry do not.
Frank, you brought up the term fuckery here in the business. In the time you've been in it, do you feel that it's died? Maybe it's gotten a little bit better, a little more cohesion between companies, or do you think people are still, because like now over the last couple of years, you see more supplement companies doing collabs with supplement companies. Do you think it's getting better, or is it like people still kind of keeping everything close to the vest?
It's gotten better. Running people down doesn't. The winners want to collaborate. Losers fight with each other. Generally,
okay, fair enough.
You see the people doing collabs. Look at the size of a lot of those companies.
Yeah.
They're very large. Winners focus on winning. Losers focus on winners. So a lot of the ones doing the collabs and doing that are doing well, and they're open. So the guys that are fighting over the little knick-knack pittance bullshit, there's a reason why they're down there. So the good brands it's co-opetition, I would call it,
Okay.
You're all competing, but you don't have to be dirty. You don't ever have to run down somebody else's stuff or say this line sucks. There's still some guys who don't want to share information. I've always been an open book. Like my entire career, when I traveled or I go on the road, I would take pictures with my retailers in their stores and all that, knowing all the reps who follow me are going to see this customer and they're going to probably call on them. But my book of business is not just mine. Like if they want to buy if I'm with Titan and they want to buy Titan, that doesn't mean they're not going to buy somebody else's stuff. I never believed in like not telling anybody who your customers were.
Yeah.
I never cared. If you're good at what you do, that shit's irrelevant. So I think there's more collaboration now. There's always a bit of backbiting and sniping. There's always that element. Listen, we're in an industry of vanity, right? There's a lot of egos in this. We don't draw like always the best and the brightest and the nicest. It's got a certain element to it. So there's always a little bit of that egoism and whatnot, but the smart people know how to leverage with like-minded folks in the space and capitalize on both of their customer bases to elevate both brands. So I think it's better than it used to be. It's better than it used to be, for sure. It used to be there was some times where it was nasty and there was a lot of shit talking. It's not as bad now. I think we've grown up a little bit anyway. I'll say it. I'll give it some credit because I say enough shit, so it's gotten better in some areas.
I mean, let's face it. The industry is so freaking big. What are we saying? 2 billion nowadays, or 10 billion? It's enough to go around for everybody.
There is the tough part is there is, but there's also 18 million brands cutting up the pie, and what we're seeing now is it's starting to become like there are haves and there are have-nots.
Yep.
It's getting split up a lot. There's the brands that are killing it, and a lot of the others are just trying to get by, or they're not doing well. You've got to measure. You've got to get income from everywhere. If you're just retail, not a great option. I love my retailers. I work with stores. I've been a retail guy my whole life. You need that, but you can't just build a business. You're not going to go to 50 million on that. You've got to have D2C. You've got to have international. If you want to get to these big numbers, you're pretty much going to have to do foods or beverage at some point. Ghost killed the beverage. Now they just came out with basically a protein Twix bar this week.
I saw that. Yes.
Yeah, which is probably amazing. And they're going to leverage the shit out of that and kill. If you want to get to those big numbers, you've got to be selling everything: bars, drinks, supplements, health stuff. Yeah. So you've kind of got to, and which takes a lot of money to fund that, right? So it's like there's those few brands at the top, the Ghosts, the Raws, who really kill it. And then there's a lot of us in the middle space where you're just kind of plugging away, and it's a grind. Because if you don't have the capital now, I think you used to be able to get a lot further ahead with less. Now you've got to pay. Influencers want thousands and thousands of dollars for a post, and it's just, you've got to have money to get them. It's marketing. It's become a business of marketing. Like, I love First Form. Those guys are doing it fantastic. But it's almost like some of these companies, they sell supplements, right? And their supplements are good. But it's like it's a marketing company that sells supplements.
Yes,
not always a supplement company who markets.
Yep.
It's right. So if you can't win the marketing battle to separate and distinguish yourself from the others, good luck trying to get ahead now. You're just lost in this gigantic blob of everything that looks the same.
Yep. Frank, do you think ambassadors are good or bad for the industry?
They water things down a lot. I mean, good for them because people want to be a part of something. And really, that's what it's about. If you want to build a brand, if you look at the guys who've grown, it's all about providing an experience and building a culture. We are an industry, I always say this, we are an industry of misfits, right? People want to belong to something that they believe in, a bigger cause. 5% did an amazing job of it with Rich Piana. That was a culture, cult of personality. First Form has the culture. Raw built a culture. Ghost built a culture. So you kind of have to have that element. Do you need 18 billion ambassadors who just have a discount code? I mean, they serve their purpose. Yeah. For some brands, all they do is just get a discount buying like the brand that they're working for. They may not sell shit, but they buy, say, First Form or Raw. So the company is making money on the ambassador anyway, which is genius.
Yeah.
I think it gets more information out, which is a good thing. It gets more visibility. It's a matter of the quality of what you're seeing, though, too. Is it quantity or quality that we're looking for? Because there's also a lot of bro nonsense and ambassador, like just stupid shit, promoting products that they don't even know what they're doing. They're giving out false information, bro science stuff that's incorrect. So it's like, yeah, all that is good. It's good for sales. It's good for building a community. But if you're talking about information and education, there's also a responsibility that comes with the content you put out.
Yep.
So it can be good or bad. It's like many things, right? It's just a thing. It's an inanimate thing. And it depends on how do you use it as to whether it's good or bad. I don't think it's on the usage of it. There are certainly good points, and there are points that could be improved upon.
Yeah. So I always tell people, they ask me the ambassadors, the reviewers and stuff, take it with a grain of salt, do your research too. But, again, a lot of these reviewers are getting paid somehow or another, and they're going to peddle anything and everything they get in their mailbox. Yeah.
And I think it's to the culture side of it, it's gotten where some of the influencers and ambassadors and the reviewers now, they become legends in their own mind. Everybody thinks they're a superstar now. Like everybody is amazing or is someone important. I've been in 20 years. I don't think I'm shit. People tell me, oh yeah, I know you've done a good job. And I don't look at myself that way, but you'll have a reviewer who's like, they think they're the make it or break for this product and they want to get paid. And so we've gotten really egocentric in that way with social media. Right. So everybody, a lot of guys think they're like this, they're just uber important. And it's like, dude, we're all just peddling supplements down here. We're not curing cancer. Come on, chill out.
Oh my God. So how did you meet Brian? How'd you come across Titan?
I knew Brian from events. I used to see them at events. So I used to see him there, and especially in Florida with the Max Fits. And so we would say hello, and we knew of each other just through passing in the industry. And then one of his coworkers, Tyler, who's like our operations guy and does some sales, he saw me at a show and we started to talk, and there was an opportunity with Titan. So that's why I ended up, taking that job to come over and kind of help them with everything, not just sales, but I've been more of a consultant there with relabeling, new formulas, pricing, staffing, like really trying to update the brand as a whole, and culturally do some different things, not just sell, because they hadn't changed a couple things in, a few years, the labels and whatnot, and some formulas. And again, in most cases, you've got to constantly be evolving and upgrading in this business, because if you stay still for a couple of years, it's like a decade went by.
Yeah, exactly.
Your look, your formulas, all of it has to be, you've got to constantly be dropping something, because people's attention spans are so short that if you're not in front of their face promoting a new this, a new that, or whatever, again, you get lost in the blob of millions of brands who are just kind of chilling there, hanging out.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's funny because Brian was a guest years ago when I was just doing audio podcast before I went video. And this was I'd probably say 17 or 18. And we still talk and stuff. And he said, hey, you got to get Frank on the call here. So, again, I have much respect for Brian.
Yeah, no, he's a good guy. Probably one of the best people I've worked for as a person. Has treated me really, really well. Listens, he listens to what I have to say and takes me seriously, which you would think, well, if you've been doing this 20 years almost, Frank, wouldn't it? No, a lot of these guys can't get out of the way of their own ego.
Yeah.
Not everybody's willing to listen because they are so-and-so and they know better. Whereas Brian's been pretty ego-free and has been fair and listened, and we've done the best we could. We made some strides. Again, we don't have the crazy marketing budget, the crazy influencer. So like you said, there is a bit of being under the radar because we don't have that front and center. The products do a lot of the talking for us.
Yes.
But sometimes that's a hard thing because that's not always the first thing people listen to, right?
Yeah, exactly. And again, I meant that respectfully of Brian, because all his products are top notch. I know his proteins are top notch. But again,
and we updated the other stuff. Pump was updated.
Okay.
Crex was updated. The stuff that needed updating, we made better. That I'm happy with it because I dig into the formula side a lot.
Yep.
I like to have something good that I want to really take that I believe in. So yeah, I mean the products are good. It's the only thing we're missing, honestly, is that big name. And sometimes that's what put Raw over the top, getting the C-bum. So again, that's where the marketing comes in. So we're just grinding away, trying to get in front of people. once they try the brand, our retention's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of getting them to try it that first time if they hadn't heard of it outside of the Midwest, or Cali.
But I think it's hard, though, to go back to what you just said, though, is finding the right person for the brand. Because nowadays it's more about who's paying more and the quality of the brand or the supplement. When you're looking at athletes.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I have the wish list. I mean, I've seen, I can show you the sheets of what influencers are asking for just for a post and stuff. So it's very it's monetarily driven because a lot of these people are here. Honestly, Sean, they're going to be here for a cup of coffee and they're gone. They're only going to be relevant as an influencer for a shorter period of time. So they're going to try to maximize their income during that time until they're not relevant anymore. So everyone's trying to make money, as much money as possible. So yeah, that's why you see these guys flop from brand to brand to brand to brand. 1 week they're with this brand and over here now this guy's pre-workout's the best. Oh, never mind. This company's really who I like. And I understand why they do it. But that also dilutes your reputation as an athlete too. So you really want to find somebody who you're going to have to listen. If you want someone good, you're going to have to pay them. There's no doubt about it. Yeah. But they've got to be a fan of your brand for real and be a cultural fit too. It's all of the above. But if you don't have the money, the other two don't carry as much weight. That's like, we love you, but Yeah. Everybody's in it for the quick buck, which I can't blame them. Like I said, this is the nature of the business. It's a business. You're all here to make money.
Yeah, but like you said earlier, though, it's like you said, like year one, you have top 5 athlete. Oh, this is the best brand, best pre-workout, and 6 months later, next brand. And after a while, it's like, how do you put any credibility in the person?
It doesn't. I mean, it dilutes to the point where people call it out.
Yeah.
So I think athletes have to be leery of that. But again, if the athlete's only got a 5-year shelf life, they're probably not going to be around long enough to give a shit what it does, because sooner or later they're going to be undesirable or a has been. So the money's not going to be there anyway. So they're like, give me the money while I'm who I am.
Yeah.
Because a health problem could take them out for good.
That's it. Yeah, exactly.
Especially now with all the shit you got to pump and whatnot. I mean, these guys are enormous. The girls are enormous. Like, who knows? You know what I mean? You don't know how long your lifespan is going to be in general, but in the business, how long are you going to be? Oh yeah, IFBB pro, such and such, top 5 Olympian.
Yep, exactly.
It's a short window.
Frank, when you look at where you started to where you are now, I always like to ask this question, like supplement brands. Think about the labels back in the day when you started. The label itself was like 2 or 3 colors, and it was more on the ingredient panel. And now you fast forward now, do you think the label is just as important as the ingredient panel? Does that make sense?
Oh, like the look of it?
Yes.
Yeah. They're both important. And if it wasn't, we wouldn't have done a relabel this past year. We did a relabel. People hated our old labels because they looked like they were from the 90s. They were outdated. So we got with the Nutrimedia and changed the label for that reason, because if it doesn't pop off the shelf, especially with the 18 to 30 crowd, if it doesn't have a look to it that generates interest, they're not even going to pick it up and turn it to see the supplement facts. You've got to get their eye first. Then they're going to look at, what's in this? So if you don't have the right look on the label, if it doesn't jump off the shelf or appeal in a certain way that gets people interested, they're not even going to bother to look to see what's in your stuff. They're going to keep walking on the line to a ghost label or somebody with something that's really fancier that sticks out. So labeling is it used to be very drab and people didn't really, now, especially with the young crowd, if it doesn't look the right way, they're going to keep walking.
Yeah, I agree. Do you think though that well, back up, do you feel that today's consumer is more educated, or is still like the uninformed still outweighing the educated? Does that make sense?
Well, they think they are.
But for the most part, let's just talk the layman person that knows, okay, citrulline should be dosed at this, beta-alanine should be dosed at that.
Okay, so the emergence of full disclosure brands, definitely people are wiser to it now. They didn't used to know what 10 years ago, no one can tell you the efficacious dose of citrulline.
Of course, yep.
They couldn't tell you the efficacious dose of beta-alanine or Pico 2 or any of these products, these trademarked ingredients too. So yes, on the smaller stuff, they definitely now know that what's underdosed, because most of the companies can't hide it in a prop blend anymore.
Yeah.
So without that blend to hide it, and with the full disclosure, people got used to seeing certain amounts of stuff. And if you don't have that number that they're used to seeing, they might not even know why. They just know it's the right dose. They've seen a bunch of products have it. So they are they're more informed. Are they more, again, the education component depends on what they're reading, who they're listening to, and whatnot. The education that can vary. Informed, absolutely. They're much more informed. And from a retail standpoint, it's a lot harder for smaller brands to get placement now in stores, because a lot of these, especially, again, I'm going to talk about the young guys who are a big demographic, 18 to 30 is big.
Yep.
You used to be able, as a store owner, to, if they're looking for X or Y, you can bring them over to Z. Well, we have something just like that, or we have something better than that.
Sure.
Now, if they're looking for First Form, Gorilla Mind, if they're looking for a particular brand, they're really looking for that brand. And it's harder to switch them. So now stores, and you can appreciate this because you're a retailer, now stores are they have to carry certain brands. They might not even want to carry these big brands because Walmart has them cheap, the margins are bad. But if you don't have them, you're likely to lose a customer if they come in looking for it.
Yeah, no, it's true that you want to get them into the store knowing that you have the product, whether they actually buy that product or not.
If it gives you credibility. If you don't have these certain brands, they're likely to walk out. So again, they're informed. There's more informed. The education could be better, but the draw of the brands and their willingness to want to buy a particular brand because they're getting bombarded with it on TikTok and Instagram. They're more like, I want this. If you don't have this, some will listen. But this is coming right from retailers I talk to as well. I mean, this is right from their mouths. Like they said, Frank, it's just harder because retailers also, a lot of them they have their own brands, right? So they want to push their house brand in their store, and they're even having a hard time flipping people to the house because certain customers just want what they want because that's what they've seen online. So it's the dynamics have changed. So, and really since COVID, the last 5 years was a major, major change across the board, retail and otherwise.
Yep. So do you guys, the stores that you're in, do you do educational sessions with the employees, or like how do you educate on Titan?
Yeah, we have sales sheets, assets we call them. I mean, if they need it, I can talk to them. A lot of our stuff is it's well dosed. It's not overly complicated.
Sure.
A pump, you're looking at 10 grams of citrulline, the 3,200 beta-alanine, full dose of lion's mane, stuff like that. So if you know what you're looking at, you know what ours, it's solid. So I don't have to do a ton.
Yep.
Because protein's protein. I mean, it's isolate, it's concentrate, it's a blend, it's vegan, right? So that's easy. Sure. Yep. The pre-workouts are pretty transparent and easy. The stuff that I just have to talk a little more about might be NMN, like that kind of stuff, the anti-aging category, or why our greens are better. But, we're not reinventing the wheel on a lot of things. We're just giving you really good doses and of ingredients that work.
Yep.
So we're not overly sciencey either, because I know brands that are, and that's also a slippery slope. There's certain brands that I love. They have crazy formulas, but sometimes it's just too much for people to wrap their head around. Even retailers. And then retailers, sometimes they get lazy too. They're like, listen, does it taste good? What does it cost? How much is my margin? They don't even want to get into the nitty gritty of the science. So there's a fine line that you have to draw with that side of it,
Do you think sometimes it's kind of a dick swinging contest where it's like, okay, so my product is better than yours because I have 8 grams of citrulline and yours only has 6. And it's almost like who can put more of a dosage and play that game, or more, as you hear the term, kitchen sink, what I mean?
Yeah, that's why you have all these collabs coming out that have the kitchen sink in them. Yep. They are absolutely dick swinging. Do you really need crazy amounts of citrulline? Even ours. Do you need 10? I don't know. It works for me, but I mean, that's a lot of citrulline. And they're definitely along the way, particularly with the citrulline, that became like 4, then 6, then 7, then 8, now 10. So it gets a little bit ridiculous. Yeah, there's certainly ones that more is not always better, but tell that to bodybuilders about anything, right?
Yeah,
More is
good point.
always better. With more gear, more creatine, more citrulline, it doesn't matter. More has got to be better. So there certainly was a period
Yep.
in this last couple of years where it started to get silly, where guys were just they're putting 6,400 milligrams of beta alanine in because 32 was efficacious. So we're going to double that. It's like, do you really need 6.5 grams of beta alanine? You want to rip your skin off? Yeah, So it's there should be like limits. But that certainly happened. I remember seeing some products that were basically trying to sell themselves on the fact that we have 1 more gram of this or 1 more gram of that. Or our scooper is X amount. Okay, well, how much of that is flavor and filling? If you know what I mean? Like, there's that too. So yeah, there's definitely that element was very prevalent. I don't know if it's quite as much right now, but there was a period with the citrulline in particular. I just remember everybody trying to one-up each other on freaking citrulline. Yeah.
No, I know. And that seems to be common now. Beta alanine, from what I see, seems to be the new one now, where it's either 4, 6.4. I think 6.4 is the highest, but I've never tried that. I have no reason to try it. I don't want to go that high.
No, I mean, and beta alanine is one of those ingredients. Half the people love it, half the people hate it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because of how it makes you feel. It's good for acid buffering and stuff, but I mean, not everybody likes the tingles. But for the people who like the tingles, it's like, well, we're going to make them tingle their ass off because that means it's working, even though it's not necessarily working.
Yep.
You can put a shit ton of niacin in the product and it's working, but what is the niacin doing? It's flushing you. That's it.
Talk about more is better. Dating myself, I used to do 20 grams a day of creatine because I was part of the loading. And now you realize 20 years later, loading isn't necessary.
In the beginning, it was. You had to load. But yeah, you may have seen now, Sean, I mean, they're saying that 20-gram threshold and such is good for the cognitive effects.
Has it been that high? I've seen that, but I haven't done enough research. But I didn't realize it was that high, though.
They've done brain studies on elderly and such.
Yeah.
And they're saying that, you can take that 20 grams and it's actually good for mental acuity. So that dose you were taking we weren't back then. You didn't know it had any of these other properties. It was just for growth.
Yeah.
But there's been some studies on that as far as and same thing with glutamine's another one.
Yeah.
Remember glutamine and BCAAs and all that? It's like, there's 5 grams of glutamine. It's like for recovery purposes, you really need more like 15 or 20 because your gut lining soaks up the majority of the glutamine. So it's great for gut health in small dosages. But if you want the full benefits of recovery and all that, you've got to take closer to 20 grams of glutamine.
Yeah.
So depending on what your goal is, in some areas with certain ingredients, more is better depending on your goal. But as far as some of these other things where yes, it's a dick swinging contest where we're going to put more in. We're going to put 5 different stimulants in and have this huge, gigantic label that's got 30 ingredients. I don't know that that's necessary. I don't. At what point does it just become overkill? You don't even know what's doing what. That's like a guy taking 7 or 8 compounds pre-contest of anabolics. Exactly. At that point, you don't know what's doing what. Is it the Winstrol? Is it the Tren? Is it, So that's with these pre-workouts, when they're that big, it's hard to decipher even what the hell is doing what. And sometimes they don't always work in synergy. It does. You see this panel, and you're like, "Oh, this is going to be amazing." And you try it, and you're like, because it wasn't formulated. More wasn't better. You needed certain amounts of certain ingredients synergistically to get the feeling you wanted. Just loading it with everything, it's a letdown. So
like I don't want to name drop. There was a brand, I'll tell you off air, that had 10 grams of tyrosine in their pre. I mean, people say 10 grams, but come on now. Talk about mental overload.
Yeah, I mean, hell, 5 is, for 2 is good. 5 is plenty.
Yeah.
10 is an enormous amount.
Yeah. It was Morphogen. I don't know if you heard of Morphogen.
Oh, Ben, yeah.
Yeah, this was last year, and I think he finally got smart and took it back down again, but...
Yeah. But some of his stuff is good. I actually like some of it.
Oh, yeah.
He's under the radar, too, but I actually like some of his products along the way. 10 grams of tyrosine that's a lot. Oh, that's a real lot.
Yeah.
I don't even know how that feels.
Most people I read, like I did 5 on a pre once, and I felt like I had migraines, like it just oversaturated too much. But
really?
Again, everybody's different.
Yeah. That's why I said you have to. That's why there's not even really. Remember when there used to be formulators? There used to be supplement formulators.
Yeah,
I mean, that's not even.
Our buddy Joey Savage. I don't know what he's doing nowadays.
Joey's he's like a jack of all trades. He's all over. He's just really, really smart. I was on their podcast, and he was just really smart with ingredients and compounds. But he formulated it for Glaxon, helped them tremendously. But remember that used to be a position. This is the formulator for the brand. Like now, that doesn't even really exist. They lean on the manufacturers. Hey, what do you have? What's your stock formula? What do you think as a manufacturer? Like we don't even have many formulators anymore who are really science-driven, statistically data-driven kind of people. That's gone the way of the dodo.
Well, that's it. I think they look at what ingredients are trending and what's the dosage, and I'll just throw it in because this company's using it, this company's using it, so I need to use it.
It's a lot of me too. It's a lot of monkey see, monkey do. So I like when I see new ingredients being used, and sometimes it's challenging because if it's a small company using these ingredients, somebody big can knock it off before the small company even gets recognized for using it, right? So that's the challenge. If you're going to use something new, you've got to get the word out and own it fast. Like I saw that Apollon is using Biomen now, the butyrate in their gut health.
They were also the first to use Cellflow. Well, one of the first to use Cellflow 6, which is very popular.
So like that kind of stuff encourages me. Like putting that butyrate, that Biomen in there. I think that's a Bruce Neller ingredient. So I love seeing people bring new stuff to market.
Yep.
It's not always rewarded properly.
Yeah.
Because so much of so much is run off the marketing, and whatever is hot, everybody follows in behind that. So it's a lot of monkey see, monkey do. Oh, look, there's creatine gummies. So now everybody wants a goddamn creatine gummy, and that'll be hot for a year. And then when that fades out, that market will die because it's hot on TikTok. Yep. So I want to see more innovation. I really do. But it needs to be rewarded. And the other problem is, there are some brands out there. Like I'll name one out of Florida. There's a brand called Infinus that's fairly new.
Yep, I know them very well.
Yeah, his formulas are ridiculous. He's got like 9 trademarked patent ingredients in a pre-workout. Yeah. But then people scream, I want innovation. I want to see something new. Well, then when you give it to them, they go, well, why is it so expensive? Well, what do you want? Do you want the quality and the innovation, or do you want cheap shit that's like everybody else? You can't have it all ways, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that's where innovation gets, unless it's in certain categories, foods and beverage are hot now, so you can innovate there more. But in supplements, it's like when someone does innovate, it either gets overlooked by a lot because it's not always the big companies doing it. Usually it's not, because they're working on pricing to get into Walmart, so they got to make their shit cheap. So it's either a small company or it's just not rewarded because it's too expensive for the consumer. Yeah. So it's a hard game. Everybody wants it until they see the price tag that comes with it sometimes. That's the issue. Innovation's not cheap.
Do you think we're at a lull a little bit with innovation? Do you think we're kind of not plateaued, but do you think we're kind of at a low spot? Like with ingredients and other things, because you're obviously in this more than I am, because you're in the grind more than I am, but I don't know if there's any ingredients that have really wowed me, or at least I've seen.
No, I'm trying to think. Like Pico 2's been around a minute now. Creatine's as hot as it's ever been. The delivery systems change a little, like the gummies, or liposomal technology in capsules is gotten popular. There's still innovation some places. Is there a lull? Yeah, I guess compared to Scott Connolly days and things like that.
Yeah.
Right. You remember in the heyday when everything was new and phosphagen and shit like that came out. Yeah. Those changed the industry permanently. So is there anything coming out right now that's changing the industry permanently? Nothing jumping out at you. If there is, it's subtle and quiet. So it's kind of a lull. Like I said, amongst the big guys, it's a marketing battle of who can market the best, and they're basically making the same stuff.
Yeah,
most of them.